the champs are back in action. 2022 outlook. Won the Big Ten last year, won the whole entire national championship, and they returned some key players, including middle Anna Smrek, who was the most valuable player of the 2021 NCAA championship as a freshman, by the way, and joining a newcomer outside hitter Sarah Franklin, who averaged nearly 4 kills a set, which ranked third in the Big Ten while she was at Michigan State, but now she is at Wisconsin. And of course, head coach Kelly Sheffield also in the house with us as Wisconsin comes in for our 2022 Big Ten Volleyball Media Days. Welcome, Badgers. How's it going so far?
Been a great experience. So appreciative of the Big Ten and for leading this, and it's been a great day so far.
Well, we're excited to have you all here, especially as the reigning national champions back on our set. Now, Coach, how much momentum can you take from that championship from last year and bring it into this season?
Great experience. So happy for our team from last year. They put the work in. It was a fantastic season. This is a new journey. We graduated 5 players, 2 other players left, so that's 6 new players and new leaders that have to emerge, and they've got to put their own work and carve their own path. But it's a group I'm excited about. I'm so excited to get back in the gym here in a week from now and see what this group can do.
You mentioned new leaders, newcomers. Sarah, you are new to Wisconsin's roster coming from Michigan State. What made Madison the right fit for you?
So many things. On my visit, I sat with all the girls and I felt right at home. The team culture, the drive that everyone has all the time, and the standard that everyone is held at all the time is what pushed me to commit here.
And you personally averaged nearly 4 kills a set last season. What makes you such a powerful hitter?
I would like to say my shots. I try and keep it different every time. I like to hit pretty much everything and try new things, and I'm still working on many more shots that I can use next season.
Well, you're sitting next to the reigning MVP of the national championship game, Anna Smrek, who as a freshman, you played a ton, and you got to learn from the seniors that were before you, including Dana Redkey. What did you learn about yourself in that freshman year?
Myself, personally, I learned to just be versatile. I mean, I did not always start off as a right side the way I finished my season, but that's what I was asked to do. And we're open in the gym to try new things. I knew it was not going to be easy, but just taking each practice as a learning experience, and the seniors as well helped me because I knew that they started somewhere as well, .1 in their freshman year, and the way that they came about it. But everyone had confidence in me, and eventually that allowed me to have the confidence in myself to do it.
Well, you had a fantastic freshman campaign. Now you're coming into your sophomore year. What can we expect to see from your game?
I just keep wanting to improve. I want to better my blocking, work on my eye work, especially put up that first line of defense for my team in back row, but also working in more shots as well with my hitting because, again, I did not always hit on the right side. So I've kind of learned to grow that as the season progressed, so I just want to keep carrying that.
Coach, you mentioned having so many newcomers on this roster. What things can you do early on to try to create that chemistry as soon as possible?
I mean, there's no magic to it, right? I mean, you got to get on the court. You got to get in the practice gym. You got to work through some things. We've got some depth. I'm really excited about the depth that we have, there's nothing magical. These guys went camping, which was a great experience the other day.
Okay.
They did that, but that's not going to, it's going to be a great experience. But the court, the practice gym, is where things start coming together, and we've got to get in there, and we've got to see. We just got to put it together.
I want to hear more about this camping trip. What was this camping trip, Anna?
You will be the next person to hear about this tire story.
Might as well tell us.
Well, we were on the way camping, and it was like me, Liz, Chanel, Gabby, and Jade. We were all driving, and all of a sudden we start hearing this noise, and the car just feels weird. We come out, tires popped, flattened, very close to the rim, actually. So we get off on the side of the road, we change this tire, and so we're driving on the donut, probably 40 miles per hour with our hazards on in the slow lane, just allowing traffic to pass us. And it was on a Sunday too. So,
sure.
There was no auto shops really open. We came by one, we were like, is it safe to drive the rest of the way to camp?
Well, if that's not team bonding, I don't know what is. You have to be happy with the problem solving, Coach, on that one.
Yeah.
You have been one of the most vocal coaches in the country regarding growing the sport of volleyball. What's the next step to get this sport to continue to grow on a national level?
the Big Ten has showed incredible leadership by putting this event on. And I think this has been so successful that you would expect this to continue moving forward. But it's going to be a failure if we're still the only sport or the only conference that's doing this next year. I think some other conferences, we need to see 3, 4, 7 conferences that are doing this, because I think people are hungry for content in our sport. It's being played at a really high level, and I think that would start there, is continue to do things like this.
Well, this is the first conference to do a Big Ten volleyball media days. Yeah. This is also the best conference in the country. Sarah, you've played in the Big Ten conference for a number of years now. What makes it so competitive year in and year out?
I think that every team is on all the time. You cannot take a team off, you know. And when I was looking to transfer, I was like, there's no way I can leave this conference, because every game is harder than the next, and you have to prepare that in practice with how hard you train as well as each game. And so I just think that the competition level is growing each year as well. So it's very exciting to see.
Coach, you're entering your 10th season. You've been in the Big Ten now for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, how has it grown since you've come into the Big Ten?
Oh man, I mean, this was a gnarly conference when I got in here, and so it's I think it is the sport is important to the schools here. You know, it's the administrations, the media, the fans. It is important, and the talent in this conference is unbelievable. I mean, I'm sitting next to 2 people that are they're not just good volleyball players, they're elite athletes. And we got that throughout our lineup. There is that all the way through our conference. It's going to be an exciting year, because a lot of familiar names in our league have graduated. We've got a lot of really talented young players that I think are ready to move up. We've got 3 coaches new coaches in our league that are coming in. It's an exciting transition that's happening right now. Should be a fantastic season to follow.
Well, we cannot wait to watch you all as you remain the reigning national champions of the Big Ten and of the country. The Wisconsin Badgers open up their season August 26th at TCU. The Nittany Lions are back and ready to rock, coming off a 13-7 Big Ten play season where they advanced to the NCAA tournament second round. Key returners include middle Taylor Trammell, who posted 108 blocks and 94 kills last season, and outside hitter Angelina Stark, who tallied double-digit digs 6 times last season as a freshman, nonetheless. And both of these ladies are having some fun here at Big Ten Volleyball Media Days with a fantastic fathead, by the way, of head coach Katie Schumacher-Colley in her first year taking over Penn State. Ladies, welcome to our studio with Big Ten Volleyball Media. Coach, fantastic cardboard cutout as well with the headshot.
That's frightening.
And your hair kind of cut out nice. Sometimes that's a problem, but it looked lovely. And you guys are having some fun today. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Coach, you know, this is such a unique position that you're in this season, taking over for the legendary Russ Rose, who you played for, coached under. How do you balance building the tradition that he set, but also carving your own path?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I feel a great deal of responsibility to continue the traditions and, you know, to make some of them my own. But, you know, to the alum, to coach, to his wife Lori, to continue their legacy.
And what is your best memory with Coach Rose?
Oh my God, there's a ton. I mean, obviously winning a national championship with him was, you know, it was a phenomenal week that we had in Hawaii. But I just think, you know, the day-to-day interactions for me was really special.
Well, we're looking forward to the new era under you. And Angelina, you played fantastic as a freshman. You got a lot of experience as well. What was the biggest learning experience that you had in that first year?
Probably in that first year was learning to play in front of that many people, because it was a big change going to Wisconsin, Nebraska, playing at home, playing in front of thousands of people, people on TV. That was, once I got that, then I got my nerves calmed down and it was fun.
You deal with the crowd noise a little bit. What makes the Big Ten so competitive every single year?
I think it's just, in my opinion, all the best players in club teams, they go to the Big Ten, which makes it even stronger, and it's fun to play.
I bet it is, especially when you surround yourself with other great Big Ten players like Taylor, and you transferred to Penn State from Purdue. What made State College so attractive to you?
Honestly, I feel like I was looking for something fresh, and I was also looking for like a bigger, college town. So seeing that we had, a new coach, new team, and it was like I kind of got to start over again. And I have a couple of years left, so I was really excited about all that.
What are Nittany Lion fans going to learn about you?
Probably that my personality off the court is not the same on the court.
Oh.
I definitely feel like on the court, I could be like more aggressive. I love to like yell at refs all the time. But like off the court, I'm actually like so like introverted, and I feel like I have like a little bit of a bubbly personality, but it's not the same on the court at all.
Taylor, you came in here and I felt like you were just oozing personality, so cool with the set, and you've done a great job so far.
Thank you.
Coach, what does a player like Taylor bring to your program?
She brings great experience, great energy. We're looking for her to do some great things, but she has the experience in the Big Ten to, set herself apart and to help us.
So we have this new season coming up. Who are some of the players on your roster that we may not have heard yet, but you're expecting to make a big splash?
Well, we're expecting all of them to make an impact. We have 4 freshmen, 4 transfers, and 9 returners. And so I think, that's going to be my thing for them this year, is that everyone's going to have to help and contribute. I'm excited to see all of them in the gym together.
You have played in this conference. You have coached in this conference. What makes it so elite every single year consistently?
It's like Angie said, it's the best conference. It's so competitive. Everyone wants to talk about the rankings, but, I think that's more for the fans. I think top to bottom, this conference is, any night. So we have to do our best to be prepared and ready to compete.
Angie, we're not going to be calling you now, Angie.
Okay.
You spoke about the crowds and getting used to that in the Big Ten, but Penn State has some fantastic home crowds. What makes playing at home so special?
I think the band, because they give so much more energy, and one of my favorite moments is before games, running in, listening to the crowd cheer, the band playing music. It just makes it feel so special.
I'm getting chills hearing about this. What are you most looking forward to playing at? You had to play at Penn State, so now you get to play there actually in a Penn State jersey.
I was about to say that was the main thing, like she was saying, just like the fans. And I remember coming to play you guys, and they do the little roar, and it's like, "Arr!" But it's so much louder in person. And then they have their handshakes that I think we'll still be doing. And just the energy overall. They have a men's team too. They're pretty supportive with them, and I think everything about that's going to get the gym really riled up.
Rawr. I like that impression you did right there.
You have to see it. You have to see it in person. It's pretty loud, yeah.
I want to ask each of you before we wrap up. Coach, we'll start with you. How do you define success for Penn State this season?
Oh, that's a great question. I want to help them achieve their goals. I know they want to win and be successful on the court, but for me, it's also, are we being great teammates? What are we doing off the court? We'll be wins and losses for sure, but I want them to be great teammates and help each other.
Taylor, how do you define success for Penn State this year?
Definitely goal-oriented. I know we want to win a national championship for sure, and just getting Penn State back to where it's been, honestly, and being able to be a part of that is just something I'm grateful for.
And I think just gelling together as a team and sticking through it no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you one thing, I cannot wait to see what the crowds are like this year, because the way you've described them, woo, Penn State fans are in for a treat. Thank you so much for joining us on our first ever Big Ten Volleyball Media Days. Penn State opens its season on August 26th against UConn. The Hawkeyes are in the house, taking a look at their 2022 outlook. This team looking for its first NCAA tournament appearance since 1994. A couple of key returners include middle Amaya Jones, who averaged nearly 2 kills a set, and outside hitter Toyosi Onabanjo, who totaled 26 kills, 100 total attacks, and 14 blocks last season. And these two have had quite the time here so far. How about a little fit check? First off, Amaya with the wonderful, beautifully colored mint suit. Her eye makeup matches. And are those Crocs?
Yes. If you're not crocking, you're not rocking.
Oh my goodness. And that, folks, is why we must start rocking with the Iowa Hawkeyes, because that was a statement. My mind is blown right now. Welcome in the Iowa Hawkeyes, Toyosi Amaya and Coach Jim Barnes. Welcome to the Big Ten. You just took over this offseason. coming from Tulane, what made Iowa desirable for you?
A lot of things. These young ladies here wanting to get this program right, but Iowa's a gold mine. I've said this repeatedly. We're black and gold, and that gold to me is gold mine. It's a place just ripe, ready to become a dominant program. The other sports there are doing tremendous, and the Iowa people love the university, so we're excited about the opportunity.
Some of the loudest fans in the world in Carver Hawkeye Arena with the Carver cones, of course, if you like ice cream. But Coach,
Yes.
you're like, yes, absolutely. Coach, you say Iowa's a gold mine. What exactly about the volleyball program lends itself to that?
There's a commitment there to get this program where it should be, and there's the love for the university. You know, there's no pro sports in the state. Iowa is it. And the people are just waiting to jump on board. And our players understand that expectation, and they want it more than anybody else. So it's all there. The talent's around it, the best conference in the country. What could you ask more for them?
Well, you have two fantastic young ladies sitting right here next to you. Toyosi, you played multiple positions last year. What can we expect to see from you this season under a new staff?
Definitely on the right side. It's my favorite position on the court. I think just training in so many different positions, it's a good thing to learn to be versatile and to learn to adjust. But right side is definitely where I want to be.
Okay, why do you love the right side so much?
It's just fun. Like, obviously, the outsides are the people who get set the most on the court, and being that person to stop them is just going to be a great opportunity.
How has the transition been going from the old coaching staff to the new with Coach Barnes?
Easy. Piece of cake, honestly. They've made it so easy. Obviously, like, it's been a little challenging learning an entire new offense, an entire new defense, but our coaches have been so amazing with helping us with the transition, and I hope we've been that way for them as well.
Well, you have a pretty good teammate next to you as well, Amaya, who has a reputation for having one of the meanest serves in the Big Ten, by the way. How have you been able to develop that skill set?
Honestly, I always say, like, I don't know where it's going, so of course they wouldn't know where it's going. So it's just like, it's pretty easy for me. I don't know, I just like focus in. I mean, my down the line serve is, you know, my specialty, but I don't know, I've just been practicing a lot. I try to be a middle that, I want to like play back row, so I want to serve, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like something that I just developed over time.
You're serving the ball, serving looks right now
Absolutely.
as well.
You know the vibes.
You also had the opportunity this summer to partake in the Big Life Series down in Selma, Alabama. How was that experience?
It was a 10 out of 10. I feel like I learned so much. I mean, growing up, I've always been invested in like the civil rights movement, social justice and everything, but seeing these museums and just meeting these like influential, powerful people who have really had like a big place in the civil rights movement and voter rights for African Americans, I think it's just like something that you only experience once in a lifetime. So just getting that opportunity meant a lot to me. Being chosen meant a lot to me. And just being able to be in Selma, be on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, like it's just really crazy. Like it's something that's so surreal. So I really appreciate the Big Ten for giving me that opportunity.
And how important is it to be a part of a conference that not only, you know, gives you that platform and ability to do things for civil rights, but also to have a Big Ten Volleyball Media Day as well?
Right.
Like the commitment to women's athletics is something that Kevin Warren has shown us.
Right, just getting the opportunity to be like involved in two of like the first of those trips, like fighting for diversity inclusion and then fighting for women and fighting for volleyball. I just think it just shows like how far we're coming and how much more work obviously we have to do, but it's just like they're really taking these big steps to show us that they really care about their players.
It's amazing to see not only the Big Ten caring about players, but also Coach Barnes, I know you care about these players as well. Who are some players on your roster that maybe we haven't heard of yet, but you're expecting to make a splash this season?
Well, you're certainly looking at two of them. I didn't bring them just for their personality.
Or for our looks.
A good reason. But, you know, we're a middle attacking offense, so you're going to see Amaya's numbers go up, you know, and break any record she's ever had and be in the top in the league. She's really going to make an impact. And Toy, you really haven't heard her name much because she didn't play a ton, but they're going to know her very quickly on the right side. She's one of the most versatile athletes that I've gotten the pleasure of coaching, and she's just a sophomore. You're going to hear a lot more from her. But our returners did a great job. We've got some great players ready to step up, and we've got 9 new players. So it's quite a diverse, you know, new team, but what they've done over the spring and summer has been really impressive.
What do you expect the identity of this Iowa team to be this season?
To be a real team, to be all in. That's what we talk about every day. If we're all in, we have what it takes to climb to where we want to be. But we have to be all in for each other. And that's what I'm the most proud of in the short amount of time. It's obvious they're all in for each other.
Well, we are so looking forward to seeing what you guys accomplish this season. Iowa Hawkeyes, thank you so much for joining us. The Hawkeyes open their season on August 26th against Gonzaga. The Illini are back and ready to rock in 2022, coming off a 12-8 Big Ten season, 22-12 overall. In fact, they advanced to the 2021 NCAA Regional Semifinal. Key returners include middle Kennedy Collins, who ranked 10th in the Big Ten with a team-high 126 blocks, and setter Diana Brown, who ranked 6th in the league with more than 10 assists per set. And of course, joining them as well is head coach Chris Thomas, who, by the way, we have some congratulations in order. You just signed a 5-year contract extension. Why have you been able to find success at Illinois?
It's really been about the team since day one, and kind of made that emphasis of ours. And I believe it's a true team sport. And like I said, we just make sure it's about everyone. And I got 2 great players with me. And but you know, that's just a part of the team that makes Illinois work and goes from the top down all the way to the bottom. So we really do appreciate everyone's effort, and I'm just happy to be a representative of that.
And Diana, you've become one of the most consistent setters in the Big Ten. You've come back now for a 5th year of eligibility. What are you hoping to prove this season?
Wow, prove this season. I just want to emphasize what Chris said. It's definitely a team sport, and so I just want to emphasize, like, I can't do my job without the passers and the hitters. And so I think it's just very important to keep in mind that my job is not complete without them. So yeah, there's really not a lot to prove to myself. And so just go out there and have fun and get some wins.
You do have the talent around you, but what's allowed you to be so successful setting up your teammates in a good position to get a score?
Well, just how you started there, I have a lot of talent around me, and so I'm very thankful for that. And my coaches allow me to be dynamic and athletic, and again, just having fun, and volleyball should be fun. So it's a sport we love, and so I think just the people around me.
Well, someone around you, next to you, Kennedy, you have been incredible when it comes to blocking. I love watching the blocks that happen on the floor. How have you become so effective in that area?
I think just working on that part of the game. I know like that was one of my goals last year, just to be more effective and getting more touch on the block. So just being able to practice that every day and just focus my mindset on getting more touches.
You have also been focusing on becoming more of a vocal leader on this team. Yeah. Where would you assess where your leadership is vocally now?
Yeah, I definitely think it got better, like from my freshman year. Obviously can work on it more, but I do think it has increased. But yeah, my teammates have definitely, my coaches have helped me out with that, so yeah.
Well, you have quite a few returners. You have upperclassmen back as well. Coach, who's really impressed you this offseason?
You know, they all have. I think we're in an interesting space where we're not allowed to work with them during the summer. And they come in on their own. They do summer school. They're involuntary workouts. And, you know, all I have is the reports that I get from the team. And they say it's been one of the best summers. So I'm just really proud of, like I said, everyone's efforts. And you know, from the freshmen all the way up to the 5th year seniors and the seniors. And it's really important to have that continuity, that leadership, and, like they're proving they have, and that's the biggest thing when we start a season.
Diana, you're nodding your head over there when he said best summer ever after you've reported. Why has this been the best summer?
I think summer is about many things, and a lot of it has to do with culture. And I think our freshmen coming in all the way to our seniors, I think we fit really well together. And that shows on the court. And of course, you know, we're still working out the kinks and the rest and whatever, and we'll get some coaching here next week. But I think it's really important to integrate everyone into Illinois volleyball, and that's been done really well this summer.
Illinois volleyball, Coach, what's that identity going to be this season?
It's going to be the same as it's always been. We just want to get after it one point at a time, and whether that's from the service line, which we've been very good at over the last several years, to just, you know, being in the moment and being able to handle, you know, really tough competition. We always say it's never going to be easy. I don't think you want the path to be easy. You won't grow unless you have that, that push from other teams and in practice and everything else. So we're really just looking for to continue that one point at a time mentality, one game at a time, and we just keep going from there.
You mentioned how tough the path is, and this is the Big Ten. It's the best volleyball conference in the country. You're now a senior here, Kennedy. Why is the Big Ten the toughest conference to play in the country?
I think because every team that we play against is great. All of them are good. Even us, I just think that it's great because it's a great group of girls and everyone's really good.
I want to ask each of you this final question. We'll start with you, Coach. How do you define success for Illinois this season?
I think it's the same for every season for us. We have a starting point that we're going to have the whole team together starting a week from today, and we just hope to improve every single day. And like I said, we go for one rep at a time, and if I feel like we improve from day one until the end of the season, and hopefully that ends up in wins and championships and everything else, but we know we can't guarantee that, and we have to just make sure that we're taking care of business every single time we step on the floor. So as long as we maximize every single day and every single way, and keep help their development, not just with volleyball but beyond into their personal lives and professional careers, I think that's what we always aim to do.
Diana?
I think success is an upward trend, and we talk about getting 1% better every day, and what can you do to contribute to the team. So Chris always asks us, were you a good teammate? Did you give it your best effort today, and did you have a great attitude? And so I think every day after practice we can reflect on that, and I mean, if you do that every day, that's what success is.
Kennedy?
I would agree with Dee. Even our strength coach harps on it, effort is all we need to do. So if we're all giving our best effort, we will end up being successful.
I love it. 1% better. The Illini getting ready for this upcoming season. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Illinois opens Friday, August 26th against Georgia Tech in the Ole Miss Invitational. Maryland Terps back in action, coming off a 7-13 Big Ten play last season, but posted 19 overall wins, looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2005. Returners include middle Raynell Jones, who led the country with 1.7 blocks per set, and setter Sydney Dowler, who ranked 8th in the Big Ten with 9.7 assists per set. And they're having a good time up here, with including head coach Adam Hughes' fat head. I mean, Coach, what was your reaction when you saw that bad boy?
That's really high definition. I was a little worried about that, but yeah, it looked good to be in that group, and we're just thrilled to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome, Maryland, Sydney Dowler, Raynell Jones, Coach Adam Hughes, to our set for the first ever Big Ten Volleyball Media Days. Have you guys been having fun so far, Raynell?
Oh yeah, definitely. The food, the family, it's absolutely insane. The cultures, I love it here.
I love that. Well, we love having you here, first and foremost. And Coach, you're coming off one of the best seasons in recent memories, 19 wins. That's the most since 2010. How can you take that momentum and build it into this upcoming season?
Well, obviously we had a signature win last year, beating Wisconsin, and I think that gave us some legitimacy. But the thing that made me most proud about the group is that even though we had that win, they were moving on very quickly, and honestly, we had a few wins get away from us. We had Penn State down 2-0 at our place, a couple points away from sending a Purdue a top 10 team to 5 at our place again. And so for us, I think it gives us some pride that we can hang and we can play at this conference and this level. But realistically, we haven't finished what we started to do. And as you mentioned, we'd love to be a tournament team. And I think the locker room believes that that's what they should be achieving.
You mentioned trying to finish what you've started. Right now, you decided to come back for a 5th year. Why?
Yeah, the program so far has been absolutely amazing. I think the teammates, I've connected with them so well, and I've had a pretty successful season, so I want to continue that, see what else I can do and bring to the team.
You have been so effective in this game. I mean, you led the country in blocks per set. What makes you such an effective blocker?
Yeah, I got to thank the coaches for that. They helped me with my volleyball IQ. I didn't know where to start with that. It was absolutely insane on how they learned me as a person and as a volleyball player, and they helped me become, a better volleyball player in general. And then looking back at it, it's been pretty cool so far.
Not only have you been able to grow as a volleyball player at Maryland, but you've been able to grow as a person in the Big Ten Conference. You participated in the Life Series going to Selma, Alabama just a couple of weeks ago. How would you describe that experience?
Yeah, the feeling was absolutely insane. Being around people that understand you and being in conversations that you don't have to explain yourself is so heartwarming. I'm able to, I guess, learn other things that I didn't understand before, and now I can, expand that knowledge to other people.
You can expand that knowledge to people like your teammate,
exactly,
Sydney Dowler, who's sitting right next to you. You ranked 8th in the Big Ten in assists per set last season. Why were you able to get your teammates in positions to be effective?
The people around me, honestly. Malanga Million in the back row, she does a phenomenal job as our libero, really putting me in the best position I can to get people like Reynald the ball to score.
It's fun when you have that good chemistry. And how difficult is it to create that chemistry at the beginning of a season, Sydney?
We work really hard to build this culture in this family. We sit down before every practice for like 30 minutes. We sit together and we all get to decide on what we really want this family to mean to us. So our culture and our values as a program are really special to us.
Well, you have to have an established culture and those types of values, especially in a conference like the Big Ten. Coach, you've been at Maryland for some time now. You had experience at Penn State. You know what it's like to compete in this conference. Why is the Big Ten the most elite conference year in and year out?
Well, you've seen it grow. I think when Rutgers won the first national championship, you started an arms race. I think you saw a lot of programs saying it can be done. It doesn't have to happen from the West Coast. You saw a lot of Midwest kids doing it. And then when they went on their run to create the dynasty they did, I think you see everyone else putting a lot of resources to it. You see it elevate. And now I think it's not even a question in my mind that we're the best conference in the country. So for us, it's unique. I got here at Maryland, leaving Penn State in a time where we were transitioning from the ACC to the Big Ten. And I'm so thankful that we're in this race because it's if you want to be the best, you got to prove yourself against the best.
And you have put yourselves in an excellent position to continue growing in the Big Ten Conference. What can we expect to see as the identity of your team this season?
Well, I think I learned a lot my first year as being a head coach. We went through a coaching transition, and the players are the big reason why I got the job here at Maryland. And that was a fun year. The chemistry was great. The culture was really good. I think we jumped ourselves a little bit and tried to get too result-oriented in that second year, and I learned a lot about that. So, we had a pretty good year last year, and we're trying to move on because we know that last year's not going to, get us anything for this year. But at the same time, you hear these guys talk about chemistry and culture and how important it is, and we won't live that down.
On that note, chemistry, culture, Sydney, how would you define success for Maryland volleyball this season?
I think really it doubles down and starts with our culture first. It comes in like, are we connecting well as a family? That's really important to us. And then are we improving our standard? How are we building our gym first? I think before we compare ourselves to anybody else, it's are we getting better for ourselves first?
Raynell, how do you describe success for this season coming up?
Yeah, this season is going to be, keep on breaking those records that we have so far. We've done so far in the past few years. I've been with Adam since day one, and it's been a fun one. And I think that, we have a great, like Sydney said, a great standard. We have a great background of what we want to accomplish, and it's going to keep on improving.
Coach, how do you define success for your team this year?
We talk a lot about not expecting things. I think people ask us all the time, do you expect to be a tournament team? And of course, we'd like to be there, but we talk more about aspirations of what we want to become. And it makes my heart warm to hear Sid talk about, our standard and just improving how we play every day. We want to show up, and it doesn't matter who you are across the net. We want to give you your best shot or our best shot. And so for us, would I like to make the tournament? Absolutely. But I'm more worried about getting the most out of this group and enjoying the experience. And I'm thankful to be with these guys.
Well, we're thankful that you're with us today at Big Ten Volleyball Media Days. Maryland, thank you so much for joining us. The Terps open up their season August 26th against Navy. The Gophers are back from a successful 2021 season that ended in a trip to the 2021 NCAA Regional Final. Coming off a 15-5 Big Ten season, key returners include libero CeCe McGraw, who finished second in the Big Ten, averaging more than 4.5 digs per set, and outside hitter Taylor Lanfear, who averaged nearly 3 kills a set before an injury shortened her season, but she is back and ready to rock. Of course, here with head coach Hugh McCutcheon as well. And welcome in, Gophers. How has Big Ten Volleyball Media Days been going so far?
Yeah, pretty great. Thank you.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Coach, congratulations. Contract extension for you after the end of last season.
Yeah.
How have you been able to find so much success at Minnesota?
Well, it turns out the better players you recruit, the better coach you become. So, no, we've had a great deal of success attracting high character, high talented athletes, such as the ones next to me, and we also think we can teach the game a little bit. I think we can coach on the weekends, but I think the best thing we do is teach, and so it's nice to see that we're able to help these athletes become the best they can be on and off the court, and yeah, it's working pretty well.
I think you're doing a pretty good job in the coaching category and the teaching.
Yeah.
Cece, you are a grad student now, one of the veterans on this team. What are you telling some of the younger players, since this team did graduate a lot of key players last season?
I would say one of the big things that he always reiterates to us is just trust in the process. I think sometimes when you come in as a freshman, it can be a lot and pretty overwhelming at first, and just we take the learning process very seriously and learning the game, and so we also have to understand that there is a learning curve, and you might get worse before you get better. So I think just trying to encourage the newbies and just tell them that that's just a part of it, and if you want to achieve greatness, you got to go through that. So just continuing to encourage and do what I can to support them in any way that I can.
Words sometimes, come and go there.
No, yeah,
but
for sure.
You're one of the scrappiest players in the Big Ten. You just are diving all over the floor. How are you able to consistently maintain that motor?
That is a great question. I think with the help and treatment of our trainers and stuff, doing what I can to take care of my body in any way possible. So I think that's the biggest thing. But in the heat of the moment, you don't really think too much about it. You're just doing it and trusting your instincts. So that's just part of the game, and I love it.
Trusting your instincts, so important for any athlete. And Taylor, you dealt with a season-ending injury last year. You actually recently shared the mental health struggles that come from dealing with an injury as an athlete. What made you want to share that story?
I think just deep down, knowing that a lot of athletes probably go through the exact same thing that I did, and just sharing my experience really allowed me to just let them just see that I'm also just a person, and that I'm just not just an athlete, just a volleyball player, that I'm actually a person deep down.
What are you most looking forward to finally being back on the floor this year?
I'm just excited to be able to play with my teammates. We built so much chemistry together, and I think that we're in the gym all the time just grinding it out and just being able to show the world what we actually can do.
Well, it's going to be very exciting to see. And Coach, I know you are having to replace a lot from last year. You lost All-American Stephanie Samity. Who on your roster is a name maybe we haven't heard of yet, but you're expecting to make an impact this season?
Well, hard to know. We've got a lot of talent, as Taylor was saying, a lot of talent and a lot of depth this year. We've had 3 incoming freshmen that I think can all have an influence. Julia Hansen, a local Minnesota athlete, flies and can hit it pretty good. But McKenna Wooker was deemed to be the #1 recruit in the country from Wisconsin. She's a really intriguing volleyball player in that talented and skilled, but I think her volleyball IQ is really exceptional for her age. And Carter Booth, a middle blocker who's come in and I think has some length, can do some stuff that I think will be wonderful for us. So I think all 3 of those incoming freshmen can have an impact. But time will tell. Right now we're undefeated. It's August 1st. We don't play till the end of the month, so everyone's hopes and dreams are intact. So we'll see. But we've got a lot of really good pieces to work with, and I'm excited. I think the chemistry is real, the connections are authentic, and the talent and the skill are there.
You talk about the talent and the chemistry that you've been able to build so far with this team. What do you predict the greatest strength of the squad's going to be for you this season?
To be determined, but I would hope that it's going to be connected to some kind of selfless pursuit of the goal. I think everyone can probably see, or I hope will be able to see, that it's not going to be up to any one athlete. This group, as we said, talented and deep. And so it's going to take a unified front. But I think if everyone can commit to this kind of selfless pursuit of the goal, I think we've got a really good chance of achieving it.
I want to ask each of you before we go, Taylor, how would you define success for Minnesota volleyball this season?
I would define success as all of us coming together as one and just being as selfless as we can, just because we are in this together and we're all fighting for the exact same goal in the long run. And we all need to make sure that we're on the same exact standards and making sure that we're all just together all at one time.
Cece, how would you define success?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, as long as we know that we're giving it our all, that's the most important. So we talk about being the best version of ourselves, and Hugh speaks to like our character and stuff, and like regardless of what happens on the court, like, we want to know that, you know, we gave it our all and we were there for our teammates and we didn't succumb to, like, the expectations of anyone else. Like, we leaned on each other and we trusted that we were in control.
Coach, how would you define success for your team?
Well, I think what Taylor and Cece are saying, that's absolutely right. And I think to add to that, you would want to make sure that we truly are owning the moment of competition. And by that I mean, you know, these matches are not theoretical exercises on paper. It's a mental and physical engagement in the moment. And being able to be present and to give everything you need to those moments, I think, is going to be a critical part of it, because this is the best volleyball conference in the country, and every night you play, it's a battle. And our team chemistry, our connectedness, that's going to get us part of it, but also we got to have some kind of competitive conviction and resolve, and that's going to be a big part of it as well.
And you've consistently been one of the top teams in the best conference in the country. Thank you for joining us, Gophers. Looking forward to your season. Minnesota opens up its season against Baylor on August 26th. Rutgers coming in for the 2022 season, looking for their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1982. Key returners include libero/defensive specialist Madison Chitty, who led the team with 353 digs, and libero/defensive specialist Rachel Tam, who was one of 3 seniors for the Scarlet Knights. And they are joined by their head coach, Caitlin Schweihofer. All 3 Rutgers Scarlet Knights up here with us. First off, welcome to Big Ten Volleyball Media Days. Coach, how's it been so far?
Thank you. It's been fantastic. This has been a wonderful experience for not only myself, but I know that the girls have had a wonderful time too and had a great meal last night. It's been really fun.
Well, you are coming in and we talked, you know, you have these newcomers on your team. You're still in the process of rebuilding the program. How would you assess going into year 3 now, where this program stands and where you're hoping to get it?
I think year 3 brings a change in the sense that now everyone that is currently on the roster, I've at least had a conversation with before they came to Rutgers, so they understand what my vision is, they understand what I value in a program, and they really put the work and effort in the spring to work on a lot of the intangible things that can translate into success on the court, like communication and accountability. So I think you're going to see a lot more consistency of play this year than you've ever seen before.
Well, Madison, you did have some consistent play, especially when it came to digs, 353 last season. How would you describe your approach to digging?
My approach to digging, I would just describe it as just trying to keep everything off the floor. I just throw my body sometimes, even if I'm not close. Sometimes you never know what happens. So just trying to keep everything off the floor, trying to help my teammates get that extra play and get that extra point.
Where does that motor come from for you? Because it's hard just to continue diving on the floor even when you're nowhere near the ball.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to dive on the floor. Just like my teammates hype me up. They say, they come in together, like come into the court and are like, without you, that wouldn't have happened. It's just them being such great teammates is what keeps me going and keeps me pushing for them.
Both of you are upperclassmen. Rachel, you're a senior on this team. What have you learned about yourself as a leader?
I've learned that through experience, I've learned a lot about myself and what also needs to come from me to be able to help other people on my team. I think that just playing college sports in general is a learning process, and I'm always learning something new even as my senior year rolls around. But I'm really just trying to be the best captain and the best teammate I can be for my team and support them in any way I can.
As a captain, your relationship with your head coach is so important. How would you describe Coach Schweihofer's coaching style?
I think she's great. I think she stays really optimistic, and I think she likes to tell it how it is, and I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need, especially playing in the Big Ten, and I think that we're really good about trying to openly communicate and just try to figure out, hey, what's our end goal here and what do we need to do to get to this end goal? And I think she's doing a really good job of telling us what our objectives are and helping us just get to that point.
Well, she is a Philly girl, so she's going to keep it real and tell it as it is.
She is. She does.
This is our New Jerseyan, our lone Jerseyan.
There we go.
Yeah, so we're good on this one.
You guys speak the same language. Exactly. Coach, what area has your team grown most this offseason?
I think our serve-receive is very consistent. I have a very particular style and structure that I like from our serve-receive, from our passing unit, and they've spent a lot of time, I know, in open gyms this summer as well as in the spring season, really not only perfecting the individual skill, but perfecting the whole passing unit, because that's an area that then allows us to generate offense. So we've done very well defensively as I've been here so far, and now we need to take our offense to the next level, and the passing is the first step. So
I want to ask each of you before we leave, how would you define success for Rutgers this season? Rachel, we'll start with you.
Ooh. I would define success for Rutgers in just continuously changing and continuously developing, and I think that being able to be successful in the Big Ten is a very tough feat, and I think that we're really ready for that, and I think that there has been a really big change in culture, and I think that for us, success, at least for this season, is just to continuously grow and just surprise a lot of people this season.
On that note, what's the best change in culture that you've experienced?
I think that everyone has really bought into this mentality. I think that Rutgers has in the past not have the best record or the best success in the Big Ten, but I think that overcoming that mentality of saying, oh, hey, we're walking into this game, we're playing this team, so-and-so, I think we're forgetting a little bit less about the name and worrying about our part and just knowing that we can do it against any other team and we just have to prove it on the court.
You could be a spokesperson for like literally anyone. I am. Maybe I should change my major. Madison, how would you define success for Rutgers this year?
This year's success for Rutgers, I think, is just going out there and knowing that we gave it our all. We have people, like Rachel said and Caitlin said, we have people who really are buying into this process. And knowing that, yes, some games aren't going to be perfect, some games aren't going to be pretty. But knowing that we went out there and gave it our all, and knowing that what we can do next time is good. And I think just a different mindset is how I'm going to define success.
Coach.
And for me, like I said, I think consistency would be a definition of success for me. Last season, there were many moments where we took sets from teams that we had never taken sets from before, and that's because we were able to string together a continual number of consistent points. But then it would fall off, and there would be a string of errors. So for me, I want to shorten that amount of error time and grow on the good points. And that will then in turn lead to more set wins and eventually into match wins. So a consistent style of play is very important to me. I think that would show success.
Well, we look forward to seeing that consistency coming up this season for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Rutgers opens its season August 26th against Fresno State.